Up and up. We'll see if the play is shown here on the Rift as FlyQuest looks to, as we said, put that new communication to work here in this week. 2-8 versus 3-8 as we start off the first phase of picks and bans. See who gets the victory here in the game, or even out of champion select, the game of chess played right here. It's Elise.
If you don't want to give over that instant victory out of champ select, you know, we do expect things like Zach and Caitlyn to show up there on the red side. Team Liquid, I would probably advise that they also go with that strategy a lot of teams have been doing, and try and actually focus bans on high in the mid lane to try and put him onto an uncomfortable champion. So the LeBlanc does come through. That's not really a focus ban though. That's very general. Everybody right now in North America at least really respecting that pick. We did see the difference when the Rift Rivals teams went over to Europe and it went unbanned against some of the NA mid laners, but not gonna be on the table here. So far these are pretty much just high percentage bans all across the board, champions that are quite popular right now. And there's the focus though. The Corki, specifically for high, has a ton of history on the champion and performed quite well.
It was funny, last night in their games versus Counterlogic Gaming, he was actually able to get that a few times for himself and still put up a good fight. Liquid sees that it's not something Golden Glue wants to fight against, and they take it away already. Actually, 2 of those mid lane bans, as you said. Kalista getting picked up more and more, and that's going to be in the hands of Piglet to start things off.
It's funny because every time we have this first pick Kalista, everybody's like, oh, that's X, AD carry's favorite AD carry. It's a lot of AD carries, one of their preferred champions. A lot of them really enjoyed Kalista when she was back in the meta a long time ago. And now that she's seen this resurgence and becoming popular again in the meta, it's really been off to the races. So we've seen her very, very frequently. Biggest thing is she does add so much to the early game crowd control from the bottom lane, but also dragon control, the ability to secure those objectives.
Playmaking on the side of Team Liquid. 3 members already chosen, Kalista, Gnar, and Thresh. A little more Ghana as well on the side of FlyQuest here. Elimination goes back to kind of playing those gamey supports where you can beta play in or get to play with those Dark Bindings. Yeah,
Morgana has been one of the most common counters to Thresh that we've been seeing, to try and use the Black Shield to nullify some of that playmaking that you talked about. But even so, it's still hard because Thresh right now is so good with the multiple forms of engagement. Even if you can Black Shield a hook, he still has Flash Flay, and the Lantern has also seen a lot of use.
That hook still connects as well, so you can ride it all the way in. You're just not getting that initial CC. So it's a little tricky if you're actually walking by the 80 carry. You can get that double Flay in. 16 seconds left here. We got the second ban phase going on, and top focus from Team Liquid is FlyQuest seeing no jungler picked. We'll hit up a Rek'Sai.
Yep. Flexible here with the Gragas, so FlyQuest trying to keep Team Liquid in the dark as far as where that champion will go.
Good point.
And when you pick Gnar early and you're not quite sure if they have a solid top laner there or not, usually people want to ban out a lot of the duelist champions that can get kills on Gnar and try and counter him that way. Camille definitely has seen a lot of increased interest after the buffs to her in the last couple of patches, so not really surprised with that one. Kennen as well, one of those strong split pushers, even though it's not really a strategy that we've seen FlyQuest find a lot of success on. So maybe that one will be a little bit regretted. No surprise there if they do lock it in. High is by far most played champion, as with most other mid laners. And kind of the go-to blind pick. Syndra, though, is still available, and that is quite often the answer into Orianna. You do have that kill pressure at level 6. You have to play a little bit more cautiously as the Orianna and, work with your jungler for the vision so you don't get ganked. Just a thought.
Oh, Maokai getting locked in. We get to see a little bit more play of the tree.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
It really has, but especially me and Jat, a lot of the junglers here have been just super over the moon about Cinder Hulk jungle right now, and Maokai is one of the premier use cases for that item in the jungle. You can start the Raptors so incredibly easy. You don't even need a pull with the increased power of those saplings in the bush right by Raptors, and he clears very quickly, especially with the new Cinder Hulk, and then he's just a very strong front line, a supportive front line as well to go with the Gnar. He can actually set up Gnar's engagement for the Mega by holding people in place and kind of being a 1-2 engagement here. So Team Liquid actually, I think they have a very solid draft for themselves coming out of that one. The Syndra that we mentioned earlier as well finally did come through as a counter there too. So quite a bit of an edge here. We'll have to see though, because as we said, FlyQuest have been on the up and ups here. Balls in the top lane has been getting solo kills. He's not just been getting CS lanes. At first we're like, okay, Balls is improving. You know, he's winning his lane pretty frequently, but now he's actually even getting solo kills on people's. And Jarvan is one of those champions. If you time your flag and drag correctly versus the Gnar, that can get that to happen.
All right, we are heading into the matchup. Seeing some different faces, as we said. Nori now in the jungle. See how the communication for Team Liquid pans out, but we're also watching that for FlyQuest, how the calls around the map goes, and really the macro play. We know the early game from these teams can be pretty solid. We'll have to see who comes out on top there to get that good mid game. Hashtag TL win, hashtag fly win. Also got to watch a little bit of what Wild Turtle is going to do on this Kog'Maw. He only has a few shields of protection, and he has a line of Team Liquid that can really get onto him.
There is a lot for Turtle to have to worry about. Gnar, Maokai, Kalista, and Thresh all gunning for him with crowd control. But Wild Turtle has really stepped up. The wins that they got last week were largely due to Wild Turtle hard carrying from the AD carry role. And we'll see what he can do here on the Kog'Maw.
Team Maokai, of course. The standard now.
Yeah, which is your favorite color of this variation?
I
like the orange one because it reminds me of Tigger. That was my favorite Winnie the Pooh character.
Get a bouncy.
Yeah.
And that's what he does. Looks even better when he jumps around.
You remind me of Tigger sometimes.
Well,
you have a lot of energy.
There you go.
I definitely mean that as a compliment.
I accept it as a compliment.
All right,
no early words just yet.
Yeah.
Pretty patient.
The one curious thing we got here is high down in the pixel bush. So there's this possibility, right? We've seen it so frequently where teams will go invade on the Raptors and try and snag a couple of them. Generally, though, the Thresh is going to rotate up from his current position and go try and protect those saplings. Currently, though, with where we're seeing the placement of the Maokai saplings, they're all in the bush by red buff. So he's not even doing the red start here for Nori. Just going to start on the buff with a little pull from Piglets. And it looks like they don't want to waste too much of the bottom lane's time, because if you do those extended kind of super pulls that we've seen, then oftentimes the bottom lane will have to pay the price.
A lot of Doran shields once again as well. Just keeping safe, lasting in lane. Pretty good pull. Ren helped quite a bit, and Nori is off and running. We'll see what his focus tends to be. He said Lorlo's not the most crowd control. Balls can get away, but they might be able to activate something on high if they get there early. He's actually waiting quite a long time, and Nori is just kind of hanging out waiting to see if he gets countered here.
Yeah, so what he's doing is he's placing a lot of the saplings in the brush. So that's why he kind of hangs back there at the bottom side of the Raptor pit. Yeah. It is safe, as you said, and you kind of get to see if someone's invading you. And it also gives you see, there we go. We'll see it grow really big, get that extra damage off. And Maokai, as we said, he can almost infinitely clear without even having to think about it because of the heal on his passive as well. And should be just fine. Both mid and top lane here are options. High does go for an early ward, which is quite nice, but looks like Anora's got his eyes on top lane. Could time this blast cone to snag balls, but Lorlo's not moving from the minion wave, so they made the call there not to go for it. I actually would have liked to see some aggression there. The reason that they made the call not to go for it is because they have no vision on Moon. They weren't sure if the Gragas was also coming, and Anori didn't really want to blast cone in there blind. Little did they know, it would have paid off.
Only if they could see from top down. It's just not the way it works.
Yeah, if they could, have the vision that we have for both teams,
everything becomes easy. You're on the other side of the wall from that guy. Come on, make the play. So no discrepancy in any lane just yet. Wards are going down towards the bottom side of the map to find Anori, but also Moon is down there, and they haven't seen him just yet. He's going to back, but maybe activate something if they go hard.
Yeah, he was waiting around there around the bottom side to possibly go for something, but because Kalista Thresh has so much control of this lane, it allowed Matt to roam up into the jungle and place that ward that you're talking about over by the blast cone. And then he also pops the Blast Cone, so that's one less way for Moon to get over for a gank. And they kind of defend themselves from any sort of aggression. Maokai can also easily take Scuttle Crabs because you can use your Root or your Q. Take off the armor.
It's one thing I always love about playing support Brand, which we don't see a lot. Takes Scuttle so fast.
Burn him down.
Faster than his support, passive damage. I digress. Down to the bot lane. We do have a Nori, but it looks like he pinged on his Krug, so he says, be patient, I may be back.
There we go. We saw the Black Shield interaction. Elimination, good reaction time there. Ooh. Golden Glue wins the trade slightly there. Has the cannon minion and a couple range ones to aid him in the trade. Hai, though, does have more potions, so even though you win that single trade, Hai's got control of the lane, and he zones him right out here. Moon wants to go for the flash.
Nice job by Hai. Starts playing the bottom side to try and shove Golden Glue up, but he says, nope, I'm going towards my jungler. Ghost on Golden Glue, holds the flash.
Yeah, exactly. Moon was trying to kind of bait him into getting a couple more out of there, but Golden Glue's able to get away with just the Ghost, and that feels quite good. You know, low cooldown spell, plus if Moon returns, you still have your flash to answer his flash.
Balmy Cinder, not coming back too strong for anybody. Moon almost on item completion. And they head back to Raptors. Golden Glue to mid. 38 to 41 as Hai gets there first, but he's low on mana. We'll see what this discrepancy causes. He backs. They shouldn't lose too many minions here.
Yep, everybody taking up the Lost Chapters, the #1 priority mana item for mid laners. Solves so many of your issues. Meanwhile, as you talked about, Moon, because he had that earlier back, he did not complete, he didn't have the 900 gold you need for Bammy Cinder. So he went with the extra vision, upgrading his jungle item first, but it really does increase your clear time so much if you can get Bammy Cinder on your first purchase. And that's why, you know, Honori staying out on the map a little bit longer and getting that extra Scuttle Crab for a little bit extra gold there, bumping him up above that threshold so he could get it, can actually power through, and you continue to see those benefits. Moon, though, will have the extra benefit of the vision, and we'll see if that does come into play. Currently, there's a lot more vision for Team Liquid, specifically around the mid lane, where Golden Glue also doing his part with the mid lane control ward, as you should.
And let's talk a little bit about, as we kind of see Moon doing his jungle. We've looked at Honori, how this Maokai is going to work, kind of if he falls behind, if he's even and whatnot. Whoop, actually, Shockwave on Golden Glue in the mid. There's that flash. Now it's the 1-2. Ghost first, flash next. Maybe they'll repeat again.
Yeah.
We'll let this one fizzle out, but seeing this first Maokai here in the NALCS.
That's why.
This season.
Yeah, well, now he's going to get a 1v1 here. It looks like they're chasing him down the river. Good thing for Honori is that he's got the stronger bottom lane, so he has full safety to turn around and go clear out the control ward. Meanwhile, though, that's why you really do respect the Gragas, because, never mind, Binding Lance.
We're never going to tell a story on this one. Too many fights. Should have done it within the first 7 minutes. It's all action from here. Piglet actually has to blow both sums to get out of that one and ignite from elimination.
That is pretty big, considering that Moon still has his flash on the Gragas. And we're just going to talk about how Gragas, if he just body slams at you, you always have to respect the flash distance as well. And that's why Golden Glue uses early. Lorlo gets his flash off, though.
Flash twisted advance, pretty tricky, and Hai is able to just get a quick cleanse out of that.
Nori look quite like Lorlo, so used to him playing the Maokai, but from the jungle this time. Regardless, the Arcane Smash, the knockback there, pushes him out of the stun from Syndra. So you have to expect that, or communicate with your jungler, hey, hold on to the Arcane Smash after I hit my stun, because the Twisted Advance is actually pretty low root time. You don't max it early on. It's actually one of the last things that you max. So if they wanted to talk about that beforehand and say, immediately stun after my Twisted Advance, then I'll Arcane Smash, and you can do that. Otherwise, you have to adjust your Syndra Q stun placement for the knockback there of Arcane Smash, which can be a bit difficult, and they don't get it there, so Hai able to escape with just a cleanse.
Also, design team snuck that on you. It's Bramble Smash now.
Oh no! I guess that makes a bit more sense thematically than Arcane Smash.
Yeah, true. But still, I like Arcane Smash.
I like
both
Arcane
sound good.
Smash.
Both sound good. I still like it. Black Shield for a hook, eye for an eye, and it looks like they will get neither. The wards are still there to make sure FlyQuest knows what's going on, but Team Liquid keep pushing in.
Yeah. I will say that the change from Arcane Smash to Bramble Smash or whatever is a better change than the Twitch Ultimate from Spray and Pray to Rat-a-tat-tat.
Sometimes they troll us.
All right, well, maybe we're going to have some jungler action here. Never mind. Inori's going to grab the sapling spot here. So fully protected bottom lane. We kind of talked about vision a couple times, but just look at this bloom of vision on the bottom side for Team Liquid. Fully warded up on the bottom side. They've destroyed every single blast cone here on the bottom side as well. Really allowing Piglet and Matt to kind of abuse this matchup and earn that CS lead that you do see here on the bottom side for the Thresh and Kalista. Even though Piglet had to blow both of his summoners, it's just so ridiculously hard for Moon to get down to that bottom side without being seen that they're still playing, you know, pretty aggressively there in the matchup.
I mean, Piglet's got to feel pretty good. He's no longer just kind of an Ashe stun bot. He gets to play back in this somewhat of a meta where he's back to trying to carry, back to doing his thing. So probably loves all that vision he's getting. Keeping his CS up, already over a wave. And it's been slow for Team Liquid. They say we kind of feel like we have a lead, or at least have a lead on what we want to continue doing. So we'll keep doing this. No real pressure from Inori in any lane just yet.
I was wondering if they were, you know, going to transition up to top side at all, because that is a lane that can, you know, get explosive. We're talking about all lanes, especially post level 60 with those top laners, but it has been, mostly mid lane and bottom lane where it finally turns into a Drake here, starting out for FlyQuest, as Moon is able to grab that up. And even though there were deep wards through the jungle, they cleared out all the ones in the river, allowing them to jump on that. So big first objective here for FlyQuest. Even though it's just a Cloud Drake, the extra move speed early on in the game is quite nice. And the next one popping up is going to be Infernal.
Even on gold, that may draw a little bit of attention at the time. FlyQuest pink wards hover down towards the bottom side of the map here. And we'll see what happens towards the top. Lorlo and Inori, if they can get something on the balls fast, may be able to pressure Moon off a Rift Herald. And try to get something back soon.
A lot of Jarvan matchups are kind of like this when you're versus someone as annoying as Gnar, who's got that range spam with the boomerang. Your threat comes from the all-in of, oh, I can, you know, EQ you with my jungler here, but that really fails if your jungler's you know, showing himself on vision in the bottom side or taking a dragon on the bottom side, because the top lane knows no possibility of extra support, so it would just be the Jarvan all-in, and Gnar can fight his way at 1 versus 1 in some cases out of the Jarvan all-in by himself, since he usually will have the creep wave pushing with him as well.
Pings there, I believe, from Inori behind the red side. With all the vision they had on the bot, Nori's got the jungle camps timed, knowing Moon may be here for the counter gank. Just hangs out for a little bit. Good protection for the teammates all around. Both teams playing safe and cautious.
Yeah, I was wondering if they're going to go for this dive, though, because Balls has been whittled down to half health.
Cast a curse. Say they play safe. They start going in. There's the flash. Moon actually went back into his jungle instead. It came to lane, not knowing it was going to be the attack, and he didn't even need a Nori. Lorlo, first blood.
Balls uses cooldowns to farm the minions and try and clear them out under the turret. And so Lorlo, seeing this, just immediately goes aggressive. Didn't even need the Maokai for the gank assist. Chases him down. Grabs the first blood. So Team Liquid gets some money back for themselves, even though FlyQuest took the first objective.
And that is super punishable. Flash down for Balls as well. Lorlo's going to have an even stronger lane. Black Cleaver just finished 13 minutes in.
Holy.
There's a tracker knife finished up for Inori as well, so that helped out. Let's see it again.
So as you say, the E is the longest part of the EQ cooldown. As soon as Balls uses his flag there for that minion, Lorlo knows he's got a good like 12 seconds before Balls is going to be able to use another EQ combo, and so he just chases him down. You thought the boomerang spam and mini Gnar hyper stuff was going to be annoying before Black Cleaver. Now that he's got that this early in the game, you have to get out of there. So they immediately lane swap. They immediately send balls down to the other side to have to, kind of wait around here for the minions to come after the turret is destroyed.
Uh-oh. It's going to be reminiscent of the Rise days.
Yeah, he's playing super safe, though, as both top laners are. Lorlo also backs off on the other side, Gnar, into the jungle there. So it is going to be a turret trade, and the cost of that swap is going to be first turret gold on top of the first blood gold, both basically coming out of that same play, and both going over to Team Liquid. Moon trying to answer here, though.
It's going to be very difficult for Balls to guard this by himself. The mini wave just on the back of that. The couple crashing into the turret now, and high is called over. Now the rotation down from Lorlo helps to keep the pressure mid, and they have a beautiful rotation. If FlyQuest move out of position, they're trying to take top as fast as possible, though.
Yeah, this is going to be a 4v2, though, so even though they rotate high over, it's a bit dangerous. Here comes the Maokai ult.
Locks him up. Doesn't get anybody behind.
The zoning ultimate!
Didn't want to get that shockwave in their face.
He hit both of them, though.
Yeah.
Got him.
Got him.
Meanwhile, they can rotate back over to the mid since High was trying to clear out minions there for bottom, and a decent amount of damage.
Punching it down. A few more hits. They get the autos in. High. That shockwave being down. Cannot try to deliver anymore. Lemonation steps a little too close. And Command Protect saves his life.
Woo! Just testing the limits there. Lemonation able to get his black shield up as well.
Yep.
Meanwhile, though, so many wards, again, continually left by Team Liquid. Huge focus from them, keeping up this vision in the blue quadrant, and it is paying off. They've got not only bottom, but also mid-outer turrets down, and a lot of territory to work with. With just 1 minute left on the Infernal Drake spawn, this is a very good setup for Team Liquid. They've got the Callista, Blade of the Rune King completed, a lot of crowd control coming from that squad, so they can set up for this Drake. And with all the vision they have through the blue quadrant, they're definitely going to see FlyQuest coming.
Could kind of go for a trade if they want. Inferno would be pretty big, but FlyQuest could get topside and use that Rift Herald to take mid down if they can position a minion wave good. Many options once you get Shelly in your hands.
Yep, Moon's got that one. So wherever he goes, they have a little bit of extra tower pressure.
Like they start controlling that blue side towards Dragon. Matt says no. Here's a few more. Scuttle will be ours as well. It looks like we will get a fight out of this. Lorlo's TP is up. We're looking for a spot for him.
Yeah, both top laners could come. The important thing also, Gnar charging up the bar here, the Rage almost primed here to go Mega, so Lorlo kind of wants to keep it there. He's actually going to go Mega, and then he'll be starved for Rage afterwards. So there will be an opening for FlyQuest. The problem is that they're the ones kind of on the back foot, and good shockwave.
Cleanse for a shockwave. Matt in a sore position. Fate's call. Not sure if necessary, but safe is the best bet.
I think that's actually quite good for FlyQuest. High Disc trading is Cleanse and Shockwave for some big cooldowns here, and a lot of health off of Matt. Now that there's no health and they don't have the Fate's Call, it becomes a bit more scary for Team Liquid to try and press their advantage and make use of all that vision they had set up around this Infernal. Now they're kind of backing off here because I was able to get a pretty good trade.
This works out even better. Only have a little bit more
Collect
time.
all the kitties, kitty hugs.
A little bit more. Oh my word, the hyper damage is just annoying for Balls right now. He has to back a full cannon wave going to be crashing into his turret here, so kind of the best time he could to hope to absorb the rest, but not a good time.
Yeah, is he going to teleport or lose the turret? This is a tough decision because Infernal Drake is up. I feel like he should teleport to Infernal Drake and force it. They're just going to burn it down though. This is going to be it.
Nature's Grasp slowly moving in. Here come the cap for more hugs, Kobe. It's only going to be hitting on Lemonation. Dragon gets smited down by Moon. And it looks like they're going to keep going in. Balls onto Golden Glue, but he's taken out immediately with the Thunder Lords. They look up top. And they're able to take down another one there. Finally, High drops to the ground. And Lemonation and the rest of the crew on the bot side of Dragon trying to get to safety. So
FlyQuest do get the Infernal Drake, but at the cost of 2 kills here. And they're still pretty low. Lorlo is the strongest member left alive here for Team Liquid. Everybody else was pretty low health. sneaky move here by Moon. If you drop your Rift Herald, by the way, before the minion wave gets in front of the turret, she will always go straight for the turret and try and backdoor it for you.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Wild Turtle trying to save this turret, but Team Liquid claims some gold for themselves and continue to increase that lead.
Definitely tough for FlyQuest. Get moved around the map. Power of numbers work for Team Liquid after this dragon fight, coming up with even more now, a 3,000 gold lead. It looks like they'll be able to back with a bit of that in their pockets.
All right, now they're going to try and get something back for themselves, take advantage of those recall timers from Team Liquid. The game right now, the pace you have to keep up as far as, you know, trading in these macro decisions in FlyQuest. This is where the clear calls that they talked about and the redirected focus in their communications, it really should show up. They do get their counter kill on the mid turret, and the bottom turret is very low. Let's take another look at the fight, though, because FlyQuest, they were in a tough spot. Lorlo had supremacy in top side and had forced balls out of the lane. So then FlyQuest just forced to double teleport. So you can see the dragon fight down here, but on the top side, they barely are unable to get enough damage on the golden blue. Hai was pretty much out of mana. Lorlo is actually the one to hit the boomerang over the wall to secure that second kill since the Kalista Spear missed, but that was very small margins. Like, they almost took down Golden Glue. Did a very nice job surviving, and I just didn't have quite enough mana to follow up as well.
Discrepancy here for Lorlo, paying off a little bit. Able to bring out some big damage, and he capitalizes again. 2-0. Starts getting hysterics built up, so it'll be even bigger to get into these fights.
Yeah, it's a really good spot for Gnar right now. Lorlo's had a very, very easy path in this game, and once he gets that frozen mallet built, it is going to be extremely difficult for anyone to answer in a side lane, and at that point, you have to make a call as FlyQuest to force plays pretty quickly as 5, because you don't want to send anyone to 1v1 the Gnar in the side lane, and it's even detrimental to you to try and even 1v2 because it takes too many resources. So the Gnar is definitely going to be one of the biggest assets here for Team Liquid, and something they need to play off of pretty quickly here in the early game, because while Team Liquid are getting the gold out of a lot of these trades, you know, they've got the 3 kills, they have the extra tower, they are losing out on the Drakes, which FlyQuest are going to, you know, have in the bank for later if they can kind of push past this little mid phase of the game.
As long as they keep Wild Turtle protected, he should be safe. Going the route of Zeal. Quicksilver Sash quickly from Piglet, really taking it upon himself to stay safe.
The flag is down, so he's toast.
The fight. Oh, misses one boomerang. Looks like he'll be able to catch it in range. Doesn't actually. So won't have the throw, but pushes again. Fly balls out of lane. Really
good move there by Balls to get slightly under the Gnar, so he gets the knock up as he flag and drags away. That was looking very risky. Meanwhile, on the top side, they've got their eyes on Turtle, and they wanted to take advantage, but there is a little bit of a deep ward here, and Turtle is able to back off. He plays it safe. They saw him on that one little ward by the blue buff. That turret's not going to offer you much defense, dude.
It's about as dead.
Turtle's like, I will defend this with my life.
That's a Turtle move. I like
Try and take it. Well, he's got support on the way, but I don't know if they're going to get there in time. Piglet could just walk up and one-shot that turret. He's clearing out the minions, though.
Mission Impossible continues. No more rotations coming in. Mega Gnar in the bot. Ball's very close to going down, so...
Yeah, that's just going to get worse and worse.
Yeah.
As we said...
Frozen Mallet being finished makes it unbearable.
FlyQuest, it's a real big problem for them to try and send anyone to 1v1 versus Lorlo, because they will slowly lose, and the pressure mounts. So Team Liquid need to use that pressure to get something on the other side of the map. Well, Lorlo has this kind of power.
That was their second rotation. There's a Kalista Gnar. I believe they grabbed the Thresh. They're just all right to say, let's get this. We feel safe. Good lanes for Lorlo. Good lane for Piglet.
Ah!
So far, so good. 2 shots. 2 shots. Wild Turtle knew what he was dealing with. He could have stayed.
All right, turret does eventually go down. And with the 55 seconds or so left on the Infernal Drake, this is where the swing in the mid game comes from. An Infernal Drake is definitely a huge objective for both teams to fight over, and Team Liquid want to use the gold advantage they have now to actually turn it into some objectives. If FlyQuest are able to either get the Drake with only a couple casualties or only a single casualty, then they can be pretty happy about moving towards that end game. The problem is, if your casualties are too many, Baron now is actually a viable option after the Drake. Here goes the initiation, though.
Ooh, popping Piglet out just a moment. A flash and ghost blown for TL.
Really good Quicksilver there from Piglet. Yep. If you're hit by a knockup, you can use the Quicksilver and flash immediately to get out of the way. And right after that body slam, Piglet doesn't hesitate, uses the Quicksilver, flashes out to the other side of the Gragas ultimate to save his life.
Oh. And with Lorlo having a bit of damage too, he could actually make pretty quick work of these turrets. With the minion wave, Piglet very low, but they're still trying to take whatever fight this is and keep FlyQuest on the move. Dragon's already been grabbed, that's 3. Kobe, you said this could pay off for them big late game, and they've been avoiding these fights, but they're losing their map. They gotta make some moves quick with that late game.
Exactly. As we keep on saying, they can't do anything about this Gnar in an isolated scenario, so Lorlo is eventually going to take his toll. But the main goal was accomplished. They got the Infernal Drake. Actually, now they're going to bring 4 members. That should be enough.
Let's see. He could hop up the wall. Moon's patiently waiting for the escape. There it is. The body slam and drinks him under with some Gator.
They got the alley-oop dunk there over the Krugs wall. Really nice from FlyQuest. Now is the time where the biggest, strongest member of Team Liquid is off the table, and they would want to take advantage, but the side waves are too much pressured into them. So they're just going to have to take the gold and back away. Pretty important flash as well was just burn there by high, and that little pincer movement from Team Liquid. So Team Liquid did get a little bit back, but they've got to be worried about the way that the game is trending with the Infernal Drakes starting to stack up here for FlyQuest.
Turtle now clearing some waves. Good rule of thumb, don't pass River if you don't have vision. And here's a good reason why. River gets the aggression, and Lorlo is pretty far up.
So the split push is great when either, as you said, you have vision of the entire rest of the team, or your team, the other 4-man squad is creating some more pressure in a different area that the other team would have to respond to. But they had already taken the Infernal Drake and got dropped out of vision for a good, like 20 seconds or something afterwards. Plus, the rest of Team Liquid, the squad was not really creating pressure in another lane. So, as strong as Lorlo is, he cannot 1v4 or even escape the 1v4. And that is definitely some much-needed gold for FlyQuest, because they need more than Drakes to be able to win team fights.
Yep. Just 26 minutes in here, pretty much 2 big ticket items online for just about everyone. Jungler's still waiting to get a second win in here. Lorlo's on his 3rd with Gargoyle Stormplate after that death from farming so much. Good 50 CS lead here, 40. And a few for Golden Glue. He's been waiting on that to get the Void Staff in. The Banshee's Veil for high has actually been quite big, and a lot of these initiations not happening from here on. Knight's Vow for Wild Turtle to keep pin. Nice and safe. See what happens here as they try to create the bushwhack towards Baron. Things are going to be touch and go here. It's definitely either a turret or a very big objective after the next fight. Yeah,
they've got the side wave pushing here for Team Liquid. So as you can see in the bottom lane, the minions are up there and they're trying to get the engagement as well.
All right, Moon's getting pretty hit up here, 100-0, and he actually doesn't get to answer back. The full team kill on that one, no slow. Balls gets out of that without any hit. Looks like High gets the shield. Is there going to be a hook after this one? Matt's going to try to take it. Good shockwave back on Lorlo and Piglet, but he gets balls. Balls may go in for the Cataclysm. Actually gets one hit up, throws it down, and it's going to be Lorlo trying to jump back away from the team. Golden Glue on the right side is helping to just stop the damage from coming in, but it's Anori that goes back in. Lemonation, a few shots going down. Now Wild Turtle just has to keep backing up. There wasn't enough for protection for him to get on the front line.
Yeah, even though FlyQuest had an opening there. Oh, High gets stunned.
Is it done, though? High very low gets exploded. The command move dissonance, Thunderlord.
That definitely puts a stop to the Baron that was just started as well by Team Liquid after they had kind of won that fight without losing anyone previously, but that kill there was huge from High and Turtle. All right, let's take another look, because it's a pretty good pick on the Moon. Inori sees him off on this side. He knows that they don't have flash, so they've isolated the front line here and take him down immediately. At this point, it is a 4v5, but FlyQuest know that the Syndra ultimate is at least down, And that's why they're kind of looking for counter damage here. And High does get a nice shockwave, so they're thinking about going back in. It is definitely risky though. Golden Glue on the side, hits the flank onto Turtle, gets that stun and kind of zones him out and gets him pretty low here for the duration, allowing Inori to follow up onto High. Ooh, and then Golden Glue is able to get his kill on Lemon Nation because he just used the Black Shield already onto Turtle. This though,
blue buff makes you feel strong, man.
Big standing here. Turtle had stayed around and he was in the brush to protect High. Golden Glue thought that was a 1v1 he was flashing into, but FlyQuest, they hold strong there and are able to survive.
Void Staff's finished up. Titanic Hydra as well. Ball's going to be doing a bit more damage. It can now clear these waves at a very, very quick rate, along with the rest of his damage as it has been. Ardent Sensor for Lemon Nation. Even more items here as teams do everything they can to save these summoners in their fights. A lot are down for Team Liquid right here, so it could be an advantageous fight for FlyQuest if Moon can use those summoners to get in with an initiation.
Yeah, they definitely want to have Moon being offensive with the initiation rather than starting out the fight being isolated like last time. FlyQuest in a straight up 5-on-5, if someone isn't picked off or isolated like that early on, then they have a pretty decent chance despite the gold deficit here. The real big problem for them, as we keep on reiterating, is in the isolated situations. Lorlo there on Gnar. He's actually kind of softening up there in the 1v1. That bottom turret, it's pretty low. So if Team Liquid just kind of delay the rest of FlyQuest, Lurlo should be able to finish off that bottom turret pretty easily. It's only got a few more hits on it, and Balls has to respect the Gnar all in. Yep, one more minion wave, that just sticks around. All right, Infernal number 2. This is going to be the site of our next battle, Riv.
That relieves a bit of pressure. Maybe Balls can use this to say, hey, the minion wave's not going to be there for 20 seconds. We have a window. We have to use this window. FlyQuest can sometimes pull the trigger off things when not planned and still come out on top with that hectic playstyle. They love creating chaos in the game, and High just kind of micromanaging that fight.
FlyQuest trying to run to the Infernal Drake, and Lorlo's got it down to 3,000, but the smites aren't that close. Inori would be the first one in range. Oh, he's gonna zone ultimate with the Maokai ult to make sure that he can get the smite and the Infernal Drake.
Yeah, but he may be the caboose in this fight. Inori stuck alone, gets pulled out. The Lantern somehow squeezes through the entire team of FlyQuest. Golden Glue looks to keep everyone safe.
Wow, they're going straight for Baron here because of the big chunk of health onto Inori. They're banking on him recalling here, and they're going to force it. This is definitely risky, but FlyQuest, they're known for taking these type of risks. Here comes the teleport from Team Liquid. They want to answer.
Inori's going to be coming in slow. There is home guards there. One hit. Does he take it? He does not. Fate's Call goes then. Matt actually wants to flash out. They're trying to yo-yo the fight back out, and they get FlyQuest to bite on this one. Liquid looks for the kill, and they get one onto Balls. Moon's going very low. Lorlo's in the front. He scrapes Moon back, but he's able to get himself in position with the body slam, and now Inori and the rest of the team, they want out.
Turtle.
As Turtle's on the front line, Black Shield in hand, but he cannot find the shots. His Biter Arcane wears off. 32 minutes in. Still back and forth.
Woo, pretty close engagement right there. 1-for-1 in the end, but the minion waves pushed all the way up to FlyQuest turrets as well. Definitely a high intensity game here. Turtle on the Kog'Maw. We saw a display there, the type of damage output that he can achieve if the front line buys him some space. And Lemon Nation, as you said, with the Ardent Sensor, keeping him safe with that Black Shield. All right, first cooldown of the Black Shield is down. That's why Team Liquid go in here, even though Inori's still walking from base, because he was the one who got picked off. Then Balls goes in 100% here for the 1v1. And even though Lorlo transforms late, he's still got the important flash, as High actually immediately flashed as soon as Lorlo went in. And Turtle then unable to chase down one more kill. Pretty close, but FlyQuest back out on the field, and red buff on this Kog'Maw has to give you pause.
All right, they know Lorlo is ulting out. Looks like they're gonna go sneaky sneak on this one. They have the wards to do it. Scrying Orb goes into the pit. The whole team has to react right now. Moon quite far away, and that rend is gonna be quite big with Inori. They leave, they're gone.
Wow, well, Balls is gone.
They have taken out Balls as well. He hits the ground very fast. The rest of the team is trying to get to the fountain. Fate's Call once again used, but Matt's gonna look for the hook, causing the flash on Wild Turtle. A good 1-2.
Okay, so the important flashes of High and Turtle are both down in this fight. This is Team Liquid's time to pressure. They've got the man advantage. They have summoner spells advantage as well. Will it be the Baron bait, or are they going to continue to siege here? It looks like a little bit of indecisiveness. They're going back towards the Baron.
23 seconds on balls. Still has that teleport up, but they don't have. Yeah, they do have risky. One ward he could
started
get to.
it.
I don't know if it's going to be clear just yet. It looks like Matt's going to take that into his hands. No. Teleport's there for balls.
10 seconds left on the teleport. 6,000 health on the Baron. There goes Maokai ultimate.
They give it to Moon, very smart by Lemonation, so he can get over the wall. They just want to stop the Baron. If anything, he goes in quite early. It's going to be going to the Rend for Piglet. The teleport still coming in for balls. Does he get the Cataclysm on the whole team? No, 3 members. Golden Glue's on the outside. He takes down Wild Turtle. Moon's trying to get himself to safety. Piglet almost hits the shot. High with enough damage and a blue buff here to dance around the fight and tiptoe them to victory. Moon and Lemonation with about 700 HP combined. The Dissonance now shutting down Piglet, who grabbed the Baron. The chase onto Honori. A twisted advance back, as that would have been happening by the cast, but he still gets himself out with a flash. And a great take on Baron by TL.
Oh, Golden Glue sitting around in that control ward. He was thinking about the stun onto High, but almost full health Orianna that does have some magic resistance with the Banshee's Veil. Not going to be his target. Man, that was definitely an
Let's do it again.
Answer here. But that's the reason you can go for these type of plays, even if it is a 4v5. You have a Ren to rely on. Actually, it got down to 500. So there was a slight opportunity, but very little there, as Team Liquid had the advantage of the Ren plus Smite coming through in quick succession. Then there was the answer here. While the Syndra was able to ultimate Turtle and, kill off the Kog'Maw with just the ultimate damage there, it was a pretty good answer from High to actually push up 1v3 with the Black Shield on him and corner Piglet in the pit to actually take him down. That being said, Team Liquid, they acquired this Baron buff, and that should be what they want to pressure in onto the inhibitor turret, which is the real test. Can they actually take down one of those inhibitor turrets and get inside the base? I think FlyQuest should play it more defensively and actually just defend at their turrets, but they are actually out on the field looking for aggressive plays.
Towards mid, just going to be the clear here. Safety for Piglet. Matt has to stay careful. TL just trying to make their way out of the jungle and even out the map here. They're trying to size each other up.
They got caught, actually. Maokai Ultimate's going to snag balls.
Oh, gets him on the flag and drag. He may be more caught out than he grabbed balls. And it is now going to be Honori almost going down. And Moon now possibly is going to be hit up. It's a back, it's a fourth, it's a game of ping pong. Who has the bigger paddle? I don't know, anybody's going to get out alive on this one. They squeak away just a sliver of health.
Moon literally just regened enough life there from the passive on his last cast to stay alive. That was incredibly close. The big difference here, Team Liquid did not have Rage on Gnar. So Lorlo had no threat of going Mega Gnar. That would have been a complete Team Liquid victory. But that's the thing about Gnar. You have to work around that Rage bar, and sometimes you can't control it perfectly. He had just been exhausted, so you're unable to build up any rage. Nothing he could do about it, as FlyQuest able to get out of that one. They have to really respect that Gnar, though. Next time he flanks, if he does have enough rage, it's definitely going to be difficult. Here we go again, though, right back out into the mid lane.
So much vision. They see everybody coming through the jungle on the side of FlyQuest. TLCs, that is. The Dissonance onto Lorlo. You see starting to wear off as he gets a little bit more magic resistance. Two lockets.
Starting it off. Here we go. We're going to force it.
On the side of TL to be used here in this fight. Wild Turtle stays in the back line with High. And the 3 members, Lemonation, Balls, and Moon on the front line.
This time around, there are no summoners on the Team Liquid carries. Okay, 4,000 health. Here they go.
Keep my eye on where where High has that ball, right in the middle of TL. 4,000 health onto the Elder Drake.
Moon had to go out there. He only has 30% HP.
Moon's incredibly low. They're actually going to go for the fight. Golden Glue almost goes down immediately. He drops. The Elder Drake goes down. It's grabbed by Honori. A huge pickup if they can take down FlyQuest, stopping them from getting the triple Drake. High is going to be the next to go down. Piglet's on the outside with Honori. It's enough of a tank to let Piglet get away, but what can FlyQuest get out of this?
Oh my goodness, the top lane is pushing minion waves, but FlyQuest, they're not going to be able to get anything out of it because they have to go attend to mid lane. There was Team Liquid focused on securing the objective, while FlyQuest were 100% focused on taking the team fight, and they were able to kill Golden Glue with that Jarvan-Orianna combo pretty quickly, allowing them to then turn their focus back to the rest of the team. Very, very close margins here. So you can see the difference. Team Liquid have Inori and Piglet on this Elder Dragon, pretty much focusing on that as their main one. Meanwhile, they then turn towards the tank Moon, but FlyQuest, they had already gotten to the backline. High and Balls comboed the Jarvan ultimate plus Orianna Shockwave to take down Golden Glue at the very beginning, and High ending up with a Quadra, coming out ahead on that one.
Crazy. You would think at the beginning of a fight like that, like, we used two ults on one person, oh no! And then they were able to organize it out. The scary things. Now TL actually knows what's happening though. That's the biggest thing about those fights is Golden Glue can reposition. He still has Flash, he still has Ghost, and he knows that's their objective, and they will go all out to get it. The Cataclysm and a Shockwave onto him. A little bit of repositioning for TL, supposedly for the next fight. So that does not happen again. We'll see if FlyQuest can find another way in. That's what these mid games are all about, having those different avenues, creating different windows for yourself. 4,000 gold lead still for TL after that fight. 5,000.
Yeah, and still the Elder Dragon on Piglet. That Kalista has to be respected. He's got his Mercurial Scimitar, has that front line that we talked about, but man, High at 5-1 on this Orianna. You really got to keep your eye on the ball here for those team fights, and have to respect the shielding. That was almost a 2K shield right there when he put it onto Turtle initially. 1.5 to 2K, pretty decent defenses being thrown around by him as well. Just saw him on the corner of the Fog of War.
Opening up the Wild Turtle, the Black Shield. Very nicely done. Almost using him like a bit of a twitch there.
Yeah, all the shields onto Kog'Maw. Got a pretty good chunk onto Piglet, but Team Liquid back off and just lifesteal right back off the minion waves. Now that Elder Dragon buff has timed out, so the possibility of a move is here. But again, everybody grouping up mid, you have to pay attention to the minion waves on the side. There's like a 3 or 4 stack minion wave for Team Liquid on top side. That ball's at, oh, he's teleporting into flank.
I don't know if they see this one. The activation as well from FlyQuest is very calm. They're not allowing TL to know that anything is really a problem. They may know he's there though. You see Golden Glue starting to set those up.
They teleported though away from that big minion wave. That thing is going to take out, maybe 20% of the inhibitor turret.
I want to farm that thing.
There we go. Turtle with Black Shield on goes in.
Oh, Piglet very low. He's going to get Matt in front of him though. He's going to start kiting the fight out. Eyes on Piglet. Eyes on the rest of TL.
Oh!
Flying very low, and they get blasted back by the cast. Lorlo goes up and Lorlo goes down as it's FlyQuest routing down the mid lane to route the fight. Golden Glue's getting stuck up in the minions and can't deliver anymore. Matt's getting taken down. Now Wild Turtle is just eating people up and sending them to the void. A few more living artillery. Golden Glue dodges. The shot's over and the root coming in. Lemon Nation beautifully hitting him. There's the kill from the dissonance. Turtle still alive as they chase for the inhibitor turrets.
Oh my goodness. The dual shielding here from High and Lemon Nation, keeping Turtle on the front lines, and they take the turret. They should be able to burn down Baron. No smites for either team. Golden Glue is the only person who could actually get here in time. Lorlo does have teleport, but it's 22 seconds left on his death timer.
It's actually pretty scary. They're going to take all the AoE damage from Baron as well.
It is scary. Golden Glue could try and land a long-range stun here.
They won't know he's there. Oh, there's one.
Yep,
it's
Baron's
the burn.
Do it.
Scatter?
He's got no summoner spells.
No, he doesn't see it. Doesn't see it.
Just going to make sure everybody's backed up.
All right. Whew. Ambitious.
And that minion wave we talked about does its work.
Inhibitor and the inhibitor turret.
They're like 5 stacked minion waves. Gotta pay attention to those. It's like doing your homework.
The 6th man.
Before you get to go party in mid lane, you gotta do your top lane homework and clear out the minion wave.
It did not happen. You can see it up there as the fight happens once again.
Here's that party though. It was a banger. Turtle goes in first. He has to flash out afterwards, and then he gets rooted up, so there wasn't immediate follow-up. Really big Gragas ultimate by Moon. He separates the front line and back line. So even though you knock the front line into your team, the enemy's back line isn't there to do damage during the time that they're tanking. So FlyQuest were able to win that one. Regardless, Team Liquid back out on the field, and it looks like they'll be able to get this Baron due to High's death timer and FlyQuest overreaching for the Baron after the last team fight. In the end, they get the last laugh.
You can see how much this charged up Kog'Maw does, though, in these fights. If he has a chance to get a few shots off, it's going to start stinging pretty good.
For sure. He's got that Rage Blade completed
End.
with all of his on-hit damage. Definitely a machine gun when his W is up. Got to work around the Kog'Maw W cooldowns for both teams, by the way. Bio Arcane Barrage has a 17-second cooldown. So while Kog'Maw is a beast with it up, when it is down, it is your time to go offensive in the team fight. And look to punish.
They should put that back to free. That was so much better.
Just leave it on all the time. That's why some people actually thinking about cooldown reduction on Kog'Maw, because it actually is a pretty big DPS increase, just considering you get more of that Bio Arcane Barrage uptime.
Remember old Cog when you used to buy Green Elixir in lane? It's like your first back.
Green Elixir was definitely something there, especially the red one, level 1. All right, regardless though, Team Liquid coming for the base. Baroned up here.
Oh, a few hits on the Moon. It seems like he's taking a bit more resistances towards magic. It's not hurting as much, but we saw how fast Lorlo went down last fight. If either of these guys get pinned out as a tank, you're going down immediately. There's enough damage on the map between Piglets, Callista, and Wild Turtle's Kog'Maw at this point. 78.9, 79 just ticks up to 76. The gold really means nothing at this point. It's who can play their champion better with the amount of items and summoners up. It looks like TL is very patient with this push. Obviously waiting on their waves, but they're not getting themselves into too much trouble.
Yeah, patience here with the Baron buff and an inhibitor down on the top side is key for them. Turtle can quickly clear out those supers, but it's at the cost of their inhibitor turret. Here they go.
Ooh.
All right, one more hit again. We keep having these towers. Sitting on one. Are FlyQuest actually going to force it, though? Matt's got to be a little bit...
They don't have that vision.
Yep. Okay.
There's one. Fate's Call can be used. Taken out.
Meanwhile, Golden Glue and Lorlo get almost all of that turret. Baron buffed up minion, trying to finish the job.
Siege. These minions are doing work for TL this game. FlyQuest has just been trying to take the fights, knowing that, you know, maybe Lorlo wouldn't be there, but he's been able to actually be at all of these fights with the push he's put on the side lanes. He is actually full items now. Just going to be buying iron elixirs and whatnot. He can fit into that inventory at this point. Guardian Angel for balls. May see a bit of more of initiation for him, or a go for broke here from FlyQuest if TL can get back to the base like they just did. Minions on every front. It's going to be too much for FlyQuest.
Oh, man. All right, it is going to come down to one of those classic late game team fights then. Minute 40 left on the next Elder Dragon coming up, and that will be the neutral objective that, you know, sparks some of the confrontation here through the blue quadrant. You would want to set up quite a bit of vision leading up. Team Liquid have been very diligent with their vision on this side of the map, so I would definitely expect them to be able to set up very nicely for this Elder Dragon. And that forces the hand of FlyQuest, because I don't think they can afford, with how close the team fights are already going, to give over an Elder Dragon. That would just kind of ensure that Team Liquid get to come through the base and take down 2 inhibitors as soon as they, you know, come back up. FlyQuest have a minute to think about it, though. A minute to think about how they're going to try and path down there. Or if they actually think that they can either wait it out or take that Elder Dragon buffed up fight inside their own base.
I mean, they do have one crazy vision ward down on the blue side. It would be a hike for balls, but if they get a retreating TL, that could really be a ticket. Inhibitors up. Let's see what options FlyQuest has on their plate.
Yep, 35 seconds till crunch time. All the inhibitors are, you know, up for FlyQuest, so they don't have to worry about the minions just taking over their base, but this next team fight could very well break the entire game.
Oh, they're feeling confident walking out. Vision almost 100%. They've just lost a little bit. They know where Golden Glue is, and Moon's gonna face check.
Yeah, he's gonna face check. They also have 2 of the blue trinkets. Hook lands onto Lemon.
Lemon in front of Moon, that's going to be obliterated. Lemon, he goes down as he gets the squeeze. Moon as well tries to put on the damage. Gargoyle Stone Plate just being enough to keep him alive, but Lorlo hops in. He's trying to get the rage bar up, almost enough to Mega Gnar. He can hop over once again. Shockwave absolutely missing for High as Fly is in retreat. And Balls had to match with a teleport into this fight, so the sideways are going to be pushing, and TL start to head down. Yep. Into the jungle! They head to the jungle!
Yep, over to the dragon! Oh man, that pick on Elimination is going to earn them the Elder Dragon and maybe the game. With this buff and the long death timers, Team Liquid should be able to get up to the Nexus turrets. So incredibly big there for Matt landing the hook, starting it off. They immediately eliminate Elimination, creating the 4v5, and FlyQuest unable to defend themselves.
Good vision by TL. Basically able to walk and watch FlyQuest out of their base that whole time, hand in hand. Getting the fight they want, and now to the bot side, map objective free. They can pretty much go wherever they want. And it's gonna be mid and bot.
15 seconds left on Moon. FlyQuest have one more chance at that. If he comes back up, they can try and fight the Elder Dragon fight, but they thought the last one was difficult. This is gonna be incredibly difficult with that true damage burn.
It burns.
Thankfully, it's only one elemental Drake. Oh my goodness! Balls goes in.
Moon just came up. They're actually waiting for that timer. TL felt comfortable because they saw that death timer down, so FlyQuest pulled the trigger as soon as Moon would have home guards.
Balls comes up huge with the solo play here. He does flash and get Golden Glue off of the map. Now what can they actually do with it though? No flash on Orion either. Hai had to respect the Syndra ultimate damage.
30 seconds.
And backed out. There we go. There's gonna be 20 seconds extra on Golden Glue's death timer when Baron comes up. So FlyQuest now turn the tables with that play.
Pushing minions.
Pushing minions on mid lane.
Let's see what they can get out of this. 50 minutes on the clock, Kobe. FlyQuest really getting a test here of defense, and now will they have the offense to put against Team Liquid? Quickly crushing down the inhibitor turret. The inhibitor will be next. Nature's Grasp should not do too much to stop them as they leave Moon to be the one that can run free here with that black shield on, and they all will decide to head out here. They still have minions in the bot wave.
Golden Glue in 10 seconds is back up. So FlyQuest are moving over to the Baron. They know that Golden Glue, even after he gets up, takes another 25 to 30 seconds for him to walk over to the Baron pit area. And they're going to try and burn it down in time, or at least force a fight here and force Team Liquid to face check them. They're going for it.
These items, Lemon even with a Rabadon now, a lot of damage to be coming from all members of FlyQuest. They're gonna burn it. TL's gonna head down towards mid. Golden Glue trying to stop this from going down. He will be successful. But all the wards now allowed FlyQuest to see Team Liquid, where they're coming out, where they're going, and they're gonna take a little bit more for the head home.
Oh my goodness. All off of the back of Ball's pick onto Golden Glue. Caught him in the bottom lane. Recalling a little bit slow over there. And FlyQuest now with the Baron buff. This is the time. They're pushing up mid lane with Balls. He does not have teleport, so maybe Team Liquid can try and take the initiative and force something there where FlyQuest are split.
Both teams reaching new territories for themselves this split. The longest game for either of these teams here in the summer split. Really pushing the boundaries.
And you could tell how much it would mean to both of these teams. They've been struggling at the bottom of the standings. Both of them have been, you know, kind of having to work through their own issues, which are, while different, kind of revolve around similar scenarios here. And FlyQuest, with this Baron buff, looking to open up with a victory here and push it down mid lane. But Team Liquid have been able to win these team fights. Back-to-back cases where they don't get picked off.
Eyes are on, obviously, Turtle and Piglet, but it will be the tanks that'll be going in first. Make sure we keep an eye on that Galaxy's High is thrown around for where the Shockwave will go as well.
All right. Will FlyQuest refocus in practice and rebranding of their shot calling work out, or will the extra practice of Team Liquid pay off?
Trying to keep them at bay with any poke that they have. TL slowly losing their turret.
Back offering the cooldown of the Bow Arcane Barrage there. You can see both teams are going to have to play around that. That's probably, even though it's a basic ability, one of the biggest cooldowns in these teamfight scenarios. Obviously the ultimates of, you know, Syndra and stuff like that are huge as well, but here we go again. It's back up. Is he going to go for the rest of the turret?
Such a small sound as well, but it has such a giant impact. Nature's Grasp slowly rolling out. The left side collected by Moon, so it actually doesn't head down towards Wild Turtle. He's able to get out. They get the turret and ever so slowly continue to move in. FlyQuest now methodically taking one thing after the other as their minions now push in with them.
All right, 2 inhibitors destroyed. FlyQuest looking for a third up on the top side. Actually, just Baron buffing these minions so they can go for the Nexus turrets.
You know, we saw yesterday FlyQuest taking Counter Logic Gaming quite even in their first game. This time getting held back quite a bit, but finding that same prowess, that same structure to keep themselves alive in a very tough game here. And now sit inside TL's base.
Right shields down!
With their backs against the wall before, and Nori goes in for the initiation. No Nature's Grasp after the twisted advance that has been used, and Moon feels comfortable on the front line. Gargoyle, Stoneplate making him gigantic, but Lorlo says he's in there too. Sweeps everybody to the side of the ring, and the kills start coming in. Lorlo goes down, and it's gonna be low health bars for the side of TL as they head for the fountain. Balls is low, but the GA is gonna bring him back up. The Nexus turrets start to fall as FlyQuest starts soaring over the clouds on this one. Cataclysm from Balls to lock it down. The Nexus is open, and game 1 goes to FlyQuest. What a slugfest.
You can say that again. Couple of very close pushes to ending the game for Team Liquid, but again, I have to get back to the big plays. You know, those crunch time plays when the buzzer's about to sound. Balls finds that pick onto Golden Glue, and from there, FlyQuest immediately chain it into that mid inhibitor, into the Baron, and that's the push that's going to find them a victory. Huge, huge clutch play.
Holding off all the time. It's like they knew. It said, let that minion wave take the inhibitor. Let it take our almost Nexus. No, what a way to play on the edge that whole time. If they lost any of those fights, game's over with that big of a wave in your side lane.
The problems they were facing, you know, Team Liquid really strong in the early game. They got a lot of gold early in a lot of the trades for the Drakes, which are going to be more power later. Lorlo got to be massive on the Gnar and was very difficult to answer in the split push, but FlyQuest were able to bring it together in the team play for those objectives and actually finish it.
A few of those late game times we saw Balls catching, I forgot who it was.
All of them.
But caught Balls, or no, Balls caught one of them. I think it was a Nori or either Lorlo as he was on that bot side as Moon was coming back up. TL wasn't leaving the base fast enough after their advantages. And actually, that's a pretty common way teams get back is you just straggle your way out and just one after the other.
Yeah. I have to say, too, you know, really credit deserved here for High on the Orianna. I think he soloed Golden Glue off on the side of the fight there in the base at the very end. He's had really big presence from the mid game where they were behind, still on the Orianna. He was team fighting really well. So, you know, FlyQuest definitely took a lot of effort from all of the members there to pull out that game number 1. Super excited for game number 2 of this series because we're just getting started.
Absolutely. We are going to go ahead and throw it over to Mark and Dash to see what they actually make of that FlyQuest win.
Thank you very much for FlyQuest coming out with a win on this one over Team Liquid in a very, very long game, but that's indicative of Team Liquid games to some degree in terms of the length in which they go. And to that end, let's go ahead and look at Champion Select and how FlyQuest decided to draft into a typically slow-playing Team Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, you go Kog'Maw, Ori, super late game, good team fight focus. You know, like on the side TL, they're not known for explosive early games, not closing games out super well. They aren't known for great team fighting, so you just kind of pick to their weaknesses, try and exploit those come mid-late game and just try and hold on early. And for the most part, you saw that TL was struggling to find decisive victories in fights, despite the fact that Lorlo did have a big split push advantage, and they were winning on the map with their more early game focused team comp.
Now, that said, what's your opinion of the Team Liquid team comp as a whole? So in isolation of the FlyQuest comp, because to me, this feels like a pretty solid comp for this Team Liquid roster. You've got Lorlo, as you mentioned, on something that can both split push effectively, also group and team fight. You've got another tank on, you know, in the jungle, so you got a good front line, protection from Piglet, let him do some work, and then you've got the ability to just kind of dominate the mid lane and put Golden Glue in a decent position coming out of the lane phase.
Yeah, I mean, I think the comp makes a lot of sense for them. The Maokai is the one question mark, just because we haven't seen it a ton, but it seemed okay.
So then why didn't it work?
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more aggressive of a jungler, because I think the Maokai makes sense for the team comp, but if you have a Thresh Kalista with a Gnar, with a Syndra, you basically have 3 winning lanes. You want a jungler who can really get in there and exploit that Gragas, who is pretty weak overall, honestly, in a 1v1 setting. So you can go for aggressive Flash Lantern ganks and things like that, but it didn't feel like Team Liquid ever found that opening to blow the game open.
Right.
Piglet and Matt did a great job taking the turret on their own in a 1v1, but it wasn't like a back-breaking play.
Right, so a slightly more aggressive jungler could have done some work in terms of turning the tides in some of those early skirmishes, getting, one extra kill, one slightly larger advantage to push, because even still, they were gaining gold advantages through those early portions of the game. But we mentioned it, Team Liquid, they've struggled to close games out consistently throughout this split, and what we're finding is that a lot of that has to do with picks, right? It's missed positions by a single person, getting picked off. Now we have to sit through the death timer in a 5v4, and we concede all the map control back to the likes of FlyQuest. And this is a team that, while they are also struggling from a win record perspective, does understand with High at the helm how to get back into a game, how to reestablish control.
The best example of this, I think, as well, is that Baron where Team Liquid got the Baron and Piglet kind of jumped into the pit to try and get one more kill on Moon, I think it was, who flashed over the wall, and then that puts him in a bad position, gets cut off by High and dies. When you had 4 people alive with Baron buff, you give up 2 more kills out of nowhere, and suddenly you don't have this massive advantage that you had, and you're giving more gold over this Orianna, who, as you're going to see later on, becomes a huge factor in this game.
Right, 38 minutes in around the Elder Drake, High will pick up quadra kill here off of some sweet Orianna play. But again, this as well, Team Liquid, 2 people in the pit, 3 people up top. Who exactly are we going for, right? We got Piglet and Inori trying to focus down the Elder Drake while the other 3 are taking the fight, and Wild Turtle with the Black Shield gets to rip through that frontline Gnar.
Yeah, and up on the top side of that fight, you saw High get the initial kind of wombo combo with the Jarvan there. They melt down that part of the fight, and then Piglet, who was in the pit, is hopped out now with Inori, but you've already destroyed the rest of this team fight. So while they was able to turn off and get a couple kills, they give a ton back. And this is kind of where the game stalls out, because we talk about back-breaking plays, that kind of moment where you really grab that game and it's yours until the enemy team does something about it. Team Liquid never felt like they had that play. Everything was a slight trade in their advantage.
Well, where Team Liquid did have the advantage was with the second Baron that they get. They're able to push into the base, but once again, as they're retreating to reset, a single pick turns the tides of the entire game. Golden Glue mispositioning here, getting picked out by FlyQuest, going to give them the ability to push down for an inhib and a Baron after this.
And it's strange to see TL's comp with this kind of Syndra split off on its own. It's not a split push champion at all. It does have good 1v1 threat in terms of killing somebody, but the problem is you don't have any defense. So this Jarvan jumps on you. If you flub your E to push him off, then you have a ton of threat. He actually goes down right away on the side, and that buys enough space for FlyQuest to kind of chase up that mid lane.
Right, exactly. Look at this damage graphs, man. I mean, just the duo, well, actually both duos, right? The mid and the ADC for Team Liquid, as well as the mid and the ADC for FlyQuest, just dealing exorbitant amount of damage.
You look at the damage graphs. Look at the gold graph too. That fall off a cliff with that last pickoff that happened, and you see, despite having a 6,000 gold lead in a 54-minute game, that's really not that big. When you see some comebacks come back from 10K.
Exactly. Now, looking at this game, I will say that returning to Team Liquid's comp, and we've seen Kalista rise to priority throughout the past couple weeks, and in particular today, Kalista, to me, feels like a fantastic champion for lower-tier teams to pick, because it at least gives them a win condition in having objective control, right? We saw, or we see in many cases, the teams with Kalista more willing to start the Baron, but it's about, great, if you can establish the control around the objective or even secure it for yourself, you have to then play intelligently with it, and that's where that Golden Glue pick there at the end, for example, it nullifies every advantage that you had previously built up as a result of these strong picks, early game, mid game picks.
It's strong, yeah, like you said, in the early game, it transitions well into objective control later, not necessarily a huge damage threat, but still gives you engage tools, as well as, like you said, that potential to rend away neutral objectives in kind of scrappy situations. In that replay, you saw Piglet just sat in the pit and kept hitting the Elder Dragon. If you're on a different AD carry, that's really not a viable strategy to be doing,
right?
But it works out there, and it does help them kind of in that situation. But like you said, the damage graphs don't lie. You have this Kog'Maw going late game, and eventually they find the picks to actually get the kills for them.
Yeah, I just think I'm curious, although, of course, we're going to hit the lethality meta again here in a week. But until that happens, I'm curious to see if those teams that are picking up Kalista can find a way to not only secure the objective, but then make sure they're playing intelligently with the objective, with that buff to close out the game, because this game was winnable for Team Liquid. 100% winnable for them based at multiple points within the game.
Oh, yeah, I like that you pointed out, you know, the Kalista is a great band-aid to getting the objective, but you still need to know how to play with it. Splitting your Syndra off is a classic example of not knowing what you're doing with that pick. And you see that, you know, it's great that they got the Baron with the help of the Kalista in the strong early game, but you still need to find out how to actually play the game out from there.
High picks up player of the game on that Orianna. I mean, we saw the Quadra kill, but on top of that, giving the support to the Kog'Maw, who in the late game just has to turn on that W and stand there and be a turret.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of the big plays that High was able to make, like you said, with those, but also a couple smaller plays. You know, there'd be a fight that they won, and High would find a cleanup kill to get, I think he picked off Golden Glue once when Baron was up. And in small situations like that, where he's making it so that every fight is not a decisive win for Liquid, but a trade.
I feel like we can make 0 assessments of Maokai after that. Because to me, it just felt like it just wasn't impactful one way or the other. I don't think Inori played poorly with it, but I also didn't necessarily see where, oh, that's how Maokai jungle is supposed to work.
And to be fair, he's playing it probably into a little bit difficult of a team comp. You want to go for these flash W plays, but as soon as someone gets a QSS, and then you also have a Morgana on the side with an Orianna, it can be a little hard to maybe find the setups that you're looking for, but that kind of goes back to the point with, why aren't you playing something else then?
Right, perhaps they go more aggressive, look to push those early advantages even more. Now, FlyQuest, they're going to jump out to a lead in this series, but there's more League of Legends coming up with Game 2. You're watching the North American LCS.